What's happening, guys? Let me just try to fix some things up here. Uh, I'm still a little under the weather, so I'm working off a cell phone. How we doing today? Hope all is well. I don't know who's here, who isn't, but that's cool. It's hard for me to see. Um, I'll wait for somebody to come in the chat and give me a thumbs up so they know they could hear me. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not, but we're gonna wait a few. All right, who we got here? Tracy, how are you? Tracy, you could hear me good on? Maureen, how are you, my dear? All right. Let me see if I get this bigger. I hate working off of this cell phone. I hate it. Cinnamon girl, how are you, my dear? Um, can you guys hear me good? Just give me a thumbs up. I'll know that you could hear me. Okay, good to go. All right. Gonna unplug that. Put this in here. Good to see everybody again today. I said we want to try to stay consistent with this midday thing. Show. Yesterday, I didn't expect. You never know who to expect. It's going to pop in. You get a bunch of people not feeling well. Cinnamon girl, I hope you're feeling better, hon. Um, and anybody out there that's not feeling too good. It's hard for me. Just letting you guys know. You know how I would always put your chats up on the screen. It's a little bit more difficult for me working off a cell phone, so I can't. I'm gonna give you guys a quick shout out, then we'll go into what we're going to do. We'll give it another minute, and if anybody pops in, if not, we'll just roll. Maureen, how are you? Cinnamon girl, like I said, I hope you're feeling better, hon. Tracy, how are you, my dear? We here? Pop back in. I hope all is well. Um, and we'll see. I know Matty Boy is not feeling good today as well. Um, and there's a lot of, you know, this is something new we do in the middle of the day. Not everybody's gonna catch it, and that's okay. Um, I've always said, talking to one, talking to 100, it's all the same to me. Um, Give it another minute, now we go with our daily dose and get ready for the weekend. I wish I could turn this up, figure out a way without screwing this up, where I could make this square and not vertical, but I guess on the phone. And even if I turn it, I tried turning it yesterday, it screwed this whole screen up totally. So that's that. I hope you guys are good. I hope you're getting ready for the weekend. Be safe. Actually, my wife just called me, and yesterday was freezing, and I haven't been out yet today. Like I said, a little under the weather. Uh, and she told me it feels like springtime. And I know tomorrow I think it's supposed to be like 18 degrees. So it's crazy. You never know with the weather what you're gonna get. Um, One day it's 10 degrees, and the next day it's freaking springtime. So you know what? Let's just roll. Let's just go right into it. So yesterday, there was nothing. It's never nothing planned with these. Um, Midday, it's a daily dose um, of reality. So yesterday, I just something made me go into that uh, topic. So if anybody has any questions that saw the video yesterday, want to ask about anything to do with that, feel free. Um, I have no issues on speaking on anything. anything. You got questions about anything else? Fire away. Well, CG2, thank you. I said yesterday I'd be on at 1 o'clock. I came on at 1:20. Um, yeah, it doesn't make me thank you. It doesn't make me special. It just you say you're gonna do something, you do it. William, how are you, bud? I'm figuring this out off the cell phone, man. I'm getting better at this. I don't like it though. I'd rather. I mean, I told you guys I don't even want to be on the webcam no more. I'm trying to set that where I work out of and do the normal podcasts. The long form stuff. We're ripping that room apart and trying to create a really studio out of it. We're not working off a webcam, but due to today and yesterday, maybe next couple of days, it'll be on the cell phone. At least I can get out there. So yesterday that went into whatever it went into, and shy away from nothing. Open book. You never. Oh my God. Yeah, we're running into technical difficulties here. All right, so I'm back on. I don't know what just happened, but we're figuring it out on the fly here. I hope everybody's still here. I just lost everybody for a second. I don't know why, but we're good now. That's the bad thing about being on a cell phone, honestly, because somebody calls, you guys are going to hear it. So I'm trying to figure out ways to shut these shits off. All right, so anyway, let's go on. Let's just move. So yesterday we went into a topic I had no idea I was going to go into. Care, not that I care less, but um, what I meant when I said yesterday about because I got some comments and stuff about you know people in life will ask me anything, friends, whoever, whatever, and you can't help anybody with if they ask you a question if if they just think you're talking out of uh you're grasping for straws. So if you could let somebody know um and be that open book that you have an understanding, been there, done that, whether it was me personally, somebody close to me that I witnessed and understood, you know, I don't think I wouldn't counsel anybody in the area. I didn't understand. That's just a fact in anything, in anything. Um, I would be asking for it, and that doesn't make me know it all. That's just that. So, where do you guys want to go today? I got some things on my mind, but real quick, if anybody has anything you want to ask me, and that's what this is really about, um, or ask me my thoughts on anything that's going on. If I have an answer for it, which I'm sure I will, or an opinion on it, I'm going to give it. So um, that's really that. But uh, considering what we did yesterday, I'm not going to continue to harp on that um, situation. I wanted it just to be known that if anybody's ever struggling in any of those areas, um, and you want to talk, you guys know how to reach me. Everybody has my email. That's public, and a lot of our people have my personal number. Reach out anytime. We could always shoot the breeze, and anything I could say that might help. Just understand you're always going to get the brutal truth from me, and sometimes the truth is not what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. Just like I needed to hear it. So people are going to start to say that, I'm becoming a doc, I'm a doctor now. I want to counsel people. No, I started this out on Spotify in 2023, early, long before I got into YouTube. And it was really about things that mattered and trying to help. It wasn't until I got to YouTube that I started to delve into the other nonsense and talk about not so good things that were I did in my life. Um, but originally, my idea behind all of this was always try to put a show together that could help somebody in any way. Could be through laughter, could be through anything. But that's it. Oh, my man. Yo, everybody, let's all bow to who is in the house. Timmy boy, this is so hard, man, working off a cell phone, brother. I'm not used to this, so if I screw up, you know, it's always great to see you, man. Put a smile on my face, my brother, and everybody else's. Timmy, yesterday I did a video and I touched on bipolar disorder and some things that affect people. And I used myself, with Tim, I'm going to use myself as an example, you know, and how it affects a household and this, that, and the other thing, and how addiction, it all kind of goes hand in hand. You show me a person that's been diagnosed with bipolar, I'll show you a person that has an addictive personality, and that addiction could be a thousand different things. Um, so as long as you guys are hearing me loud and clear, let's continue. If you don't mind, I don't see any questions about anything. So let's just roll. Tim, if you got something you want me to expand upon, or you know, with addictive personalities or anything like that, shoot it out, brother. Um, that being said, we're just gonna move. We're just gonna move. One of the things that I didn't tell you guys. That had to do with, you know what? Is this glare getting to you guys? I'll shut it down. All right. One of the things that I didn't tell you guys, as I was going through that roller coaster uh, initially, I cannot tell you how many different, um, I named it, I highlighted a couple of outbursts, uh, situations that uh, came out in anger. Um, I cannot tell you how many different doctors, therapists, whatever you want to call, I was recommended to speak with. I also need to tell you that I had um, no filter. So, Davey T, my brother, Davey, I'm back on the cell phone. I'm sorry, bro. We're doing the best we can. I can't get to Rockefeller Center, the studio, so we're doing it off the phone. Um, so I can't tell you, Davey. We're just kind of continuing with yesterday. I want to try to wrap it, put a bow on it, but we're just wrapping up on the addictive shit and the bipolar. But I wanted to mention yesterday. Um, I can't tell you how many different physicians people sent, and therapists. Firstly, therapy. I can't tell you, if they ask me a question, as you guys know, I try to be brutally honest. I always believe in the brutal truth is what you you need to say, and I need to hear. So if they ask me a question, um, when I tell you I unleashed on so many physicians, or whatever you want to call them, therapists, this, that, and the other thing. And never would, never would I would think that that would be the case, that I would ever speak to another uh, human being that way. But it was so raw when these things, when this surfaced, that, you know, those that might have been trying to help position wise, if they asked me a question and had to do with, anything. I'll tell you a quick one to tell you where the state of my mind was. I told you yesterday how initially on that construction site on a high riser. Been doing high rise. I don't know. We were way up, and I told you, I had a little breakdown, whatever. On that same high rise, I'll tell you where my mind was. I didn't give a shit about nothing. I had a friend of mine on that job. We got caught probably like somewhere up in the 30s. We weren't even topping off yet. We were in the 30s, open frame, baby. We're way up. Buildings wide open. We're not closed in. And me and my buddy, middle of Manhattan, 33rd Street, maybe 35th Street, wherever we were, Midtown Manhattan. I got a piece of wood in my hand I'm using as a bat. He's throwing pebbles to me, rocks, and I'm playing softball off the 33rd floor. I'm hitting rocks, these nice sized rocks, and working on my softball swing. 33 stories up, 34 stories up, and these things I'm hitting them. He's pitching them to me. The owner who's building the building, he's not running the job, but he's building the building. He's paying people. He's paying me. I'm a labor. He's paying his supers and everybody to run the building. Him and his partner catch me and my friend. He catches my friend pitching me. He must have, from what my friend tells me, watch me take 20 swings, whatever, taking batting practice. He turns around. I look at him. I knew who he was. Not a thought in my mind. If he had said anything to me like, "What are you doing? Get off my job," or anything like that, in my state of mind at that time, he would have been wrong. I would have made it where he was wrong. Who the hell is he? So. So that's where my mind was. 34th floor, whatever we were, way up, smashing pebbles, little rocks, and working on my softball swing while the owner of a $1 million project, hundreds of millions, is being built and being worked on. We're supposed to be, I was the foreman on job. I'm working on my softball swing. All those stories up. But that's the truth. To me that was important. My softball swing was more important than my job, and that was the point of this. That you don't give a shit about nothing or yourself or what's going around. You only care about that moment, and at that moment it was it was total bedlam for that time. But that's enough of that shit. What are you guys thinking about these wildfires in LA? Got any comments? Anybody's got anything to say about what's going on in LA? You think it's normal? Is it the norm for 100-mile-an-hour winds? I know I was in Palm Springs and many years ago. My first time and only time ever in the state of California. I was in Palm Springs in 1995. I was out there for a couple of weeks, and it was beautiful. They say Palm Springs is a desert. Well, I didn't ever witness no 100-mile-an-hour winds. I can tell you that. So it confuses me a little bit. Of all the things, lost the thing. Let me see if I read these guys. I want to try to correspond with you guys. If you guys all right, we all good. No, I'm not. It's not normal at all, Maureen. But I'm trying to be totally transparent and to let you know that that's where my mind was. You're not thinking of. I said this yesterday. Consequences were never something I ever thought of in anything. That's not a normal thought. No different than me telling, somebody that because they didn't play it, weren't going to play another song, that they were going to go in the water, after a beautiful party. That's not normal. None of that's normal. Yeah, Timmy, that's a good comment. I'm sorry if I'm squinting. It's just the eyes ain't getting any better. Um, yeah, absolutely. So consequences, you know, I'm sure the average person um, will think about consequences before they react, right? And yeah, well, consequences were one of them. The LA fires, baby. I was in Palm Springs in 90. Again, I said 95. So, and I was out there for 2 weeks. Um, Now I know that's a long time ago, but I did not. At nighttime, I didn't see any 100-mile-an-hour winds. I didn't see. I mean, yeah, it got a little windy at night, but that was it. Look, again, here we go. Conspiracy. I'm just talking about this and the devastation, but that's going on out there. And you know, it brings me to truly, people believe it's. I'm not saying us, but you watch something on TV, and it could be anything. Things could never happen to you, us, me, anybody in the chat, until they do. Until they do. We never thought, I can think of it again. I'll just use it. We never thought 9/11 can happen. It happened, right? So anything can happen. I can't tell you how many times I would argue with, not argue, my own children, my own sons, with, I have grandchildren, and tell them, you got to keep an eye on the kids, keep an eye on the kids, keep an eye on the kids, because there's sick people out there. And there is a such thing as people do take children and do terrible things. People don't like to hear the truth because why? Because it can never happen to me. I'll watch it on the news and it happened to somebody else. Well, A, that's not acceptable, whether it's somebody else or not. And B, yes, it can happen to you. Unfortunately, nobody has a, I'm not, nobody's a blanket statement, but there needs to be more of a voice about certain things, whether it lands on your door or not. And when it lands on your door, most times people just fall and collapse because they can't believe it happened to them. And I really, there's some things that you guys would never know, that mean a lot to me, mean a lot to me, very much. Yeah, I like to fuck around. I love to joke. I love to laugh. I love, my sports, my fights. I did it. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna switch. There's the ADD. Shout out to my man Ray Longo and Law MMA. Good luck tomorrow night, Ray. I spoke to you, UFC 311. Rob, let's go win that championship tomorrow night. Um, I put a little something on Facebook, whatever. Texted Ray, texted me back last night. Wish him well. But I want to continue with this, about people thinking nothing can happen to them, uh, in any way. Um, I don't give a shit what it is. Getting your identity stolen, getting your bank account depleted. Um, I don't want to talk. People don't want to hear about real things. And I am the person that likes to talk about real shit. I like to talk about real shit. Why? It's not about I don't want. Look, one thing I don't want you to get from this is that we're becoming this is a depressing doom and gloom shit. No, it's about being vigilant. paying attention. And when you're vigilant and you pay attention, things things that you could have controlled, you will be able to control. For instance, sorry to bring this back up. I had to see somebody the other day, and I didn't like the way this professional said to me because I was upset it took me 2 hours to get where I had to get. So I said to this professional, I wasn't happy about it. And then the person is just 45 minutes late. And I don't care what their title is, doctor or not. So most people would hold on to that. No, not me. So she said, "What's bothering you today, Craig?" I said, "Well, first of all, it took 2 hours to get here. Second of all, you're about an hour late. So you could understand what's aggravating me." And so her answer to me was, "Well, why don't you read a book?" That was the answer. I said, "I'm going to read a book. You're telling me to read a book? Where do you want me to read that? On the train platform? What, on my phone?" So, yeah, how many times do we see every day people not paying attention on the train platform? And what happens with them? It happens every day. The train platform or in public is the worst place not to be paying attention. Again, guys, if you guys think that I walk around like afraid of my shadow, no, no, I don't do that. But I'm prepared. Look, I don't go out. I'm vigilant. My eyes have always been open since I'm young. I look around what's around me. I'm not scoping nobody, but I'm not going to be not paying attention on the train platform. So you're supposed to be a professional, so you're going to get, yeah, thanks, baby. You're not going to get, I don't give a shit who you are. You're going to get an answer from me. So, because she's a doctor, you could be an hour late, you and tell me to read about. So I told her, I said, let me tell you something. Maybe it's people like you that are going to read a book for 2 hours, and then we're going to watch that you were thrown onto the train tracks, and then I'm going to read it. I'm going to see it on TV, and I'm going to say, "Wow, she's supposed to be so much smarter than me. What's she reading a book for?" You know why? Because you could be book smart, but have something that maybe I have. That's called common sense. So you could have all the certificates and you know, masters, this degree, that degree, and whatever you want to call it. But when you lack common sense and survival and understanding when there's a threat, when there's not a threat, it's a problem. It's a problem. And when you think these things can't happen, and I speak to so many people that are fictitious, that live in this fantasy world that shit can't happen to them. Shit can't happen to them. Yeah, I'm just trying to I want to get to the chat. I want to meet you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm working off this phone. I want to get your stuff up. We don't like, we don't live our lives worrying. That's right. About consequences, Timmy. You know that. Come on, Tim. We call, man. I waited for your call, by the way, last night. Junior's waiting to speak to you. But anyway, yeah, you got to handle your business, and there is something I'm going to say. I'm going to say this. And this should go to anybody. Everybody has their own way of doing things. James, how are you? Welcome uh, to the show. I hope you're enjoying what you're hearing. OG Ruby, there's something I want to say. There's something I want to say. For me, there is like a distance I have where it'll become my heart will race, even at 50, gonna be 58. So, but I always had it, from young. Um, I won't let somebody get so close to me. Like if you're like, say we're having some words, screw you, blah, 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 whatever words those can be. There's that, that code of conduct, that distance of space. You cross that distance of space, no, I'm gonna fire off. Or I always did. Now I don't want to fire nothing. I want to throw it up full, right? But it's still there. So it's it, I was never the one that's going to be. You know how in baseball the manager argues with the umpire and then nose to nose or face to face, and there's blah 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 blah. No, it's never going to get that close. So basically, within that range where your hands are at a distance, and if they cross that, that's a threat. That's a threat, and you can't let nobody get that close to you. It should never be a point where you know, to push it and shove, and somebody's that close to you where they're able to push you. Because if they're getting that close to you, something a lot worse than a push can go down. So look, I'm not here. I'm not teaching self-defense class either. I'm not qualified to do that. Um, but distance and knowing when a threat is a threat, um, and when it's not. And body language says a lot. Tone, you know, somebody could have a certain tone, but their body language is showing something different, and it's at a distance. But tone and body language, and it's getting closer. It's only so close. I'm gonna let you get. Let's see what we got out there. OG Ruby says, "Preach, preach." Yeah, no, I don't know. Listen, I'm just talking about daily life, and we're supposed to be about keeping shit real. Well, let's keep it a buck all the way. So I just, too many people, you could put on YouTube, you watch these other channels and these reaction videos, and I'm watching dudes get knocked out, punched in the face, get jumped, whatever it is, get thrown on a train, get pushed in front of a bus, whatever happens, right? And a lot of times it's because A, they're not paying attention, they're sound asleep, they've been running their mouth, and now they and they let and there's been arguing back and forth, and they've let somebody get way too close into them to allow themselves to get knocked out or hurt, and that you see that a lot. You see that a lot. Jawing, yapping, and you're yapping and you're getting closer, 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 and you wind up getting put to sleep, or your life is taken because you're not paying attention, and it's sad. It's horrible. So again, some will take this as fear mongering. No, you can take it any way you want. I'm not going to be asleep at the wheel. None of my children are ever going to be asleep at the wheel. I, I pray for that. That you know, I hope they've learned enough. I believe they have. My grandchildren, my friend, whoever it is, who is just you cannot be asleep at the wheel in any. Look, I watch. I tell my wife all the time. I get crazy. I can't believe it. Like I watch people cross the streets, and maybe I've been guilty of it. I hope not. And they're just staring down with their head down with crowds of people around them, traffic, and they're just staring at their cell phones with their heads down. You're a victim waiting to happen. Some will say, well, where do you live that happens? The United States. It doesn't have to be New York City. It can be anywhere. Your head shouldn't be down staring at a cell phone, walking through traffic or into crowds of people because you don't know who anybody is. You do not know who anybody is. And to go further with it, the sense of respect for people has been gone for a long time now. And the regard for human life has been gone for a long time now, from what I see. You know, people losing their lives over the most silliest shit. Hey, listen, what do I know? That's how I feel about it. Davey T, what you got for me, Davey? Never ever be disrespected. Ever, ever. I don't play that. That's right, my man. Never have. I don't disrespect you. and you don't disrespect me, period. Davey, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad I saw that. Got a second, I'm going to tell you a story about disrespect and how I feel about it. Hold on. I'm going to tell you a little something about that story. Okay, so I had a boss. Okay, I was in the hotels with the engineers. I'd left construction, doing the right things in life, well into the mid 2000s. Um, they're bringing a new boss. I had a great relationship. My old director was like, forget it. I was supervising a group of guys. I had a crew under me, kind of like a foreman type thing, just in a hotel with engineers. And this gentleman, um, I mean, I could say his name. I don't do because I didn't like him, and he knew it. So anything I'm going to say here, I said to his face. Um, but just for not letting everybody know what a bag of shit he is. Oh, hold on. Let's just put it this way. He was disrespectful with his mouth. He um he was the guy, hey you. Now I'm already, 45 years old, whatever. You know, I'm set in my ways. I lived a full life and doing a lot of things, so some things are just unacceptable. So I respect everybody. I give everybody respect, everybody, until you show me you you don't deserve it, and then you won't get nothing out of it. So this one particular boss, he had a stupid mouth, and he thought he could talk down to people, and he thought he could talk down to people. So we we used to operate this crew that handled a lot of snow. So when we had a big snowstorm, my guys would handle everything. So sometimes we'd be there. If it was a huge storm, 2 nights, we'd be there together. How many hours? So my guys had a ton of overtime coming to them, 70 hours, crazy. And not only was his mouth was crazy, he was complaining about how, things weren't perfect. We broke our ass for we broke our ass. Guys broke their ass. My guys worked. They broke their ass. He complained about everything, and he was really disrespectful with his mouth. So I had enough of it. So I went in his office. I closed the door behind me. So now it's just me and him in his office. And he said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, you can." And this is exactly what I said to him. I said, "Let me tell you something." And first name was Angel. I said, "Let me tell you something now, Angel." And anybody that watches this knows I said it. So whoever from my old job watches this shit will know it. I said, "Let me tell you something now, Angel. I've never been a victim my whole fucking life. And if you think I'm going to start now, you're mistaken. You got the wrong fucking guy." So it was just me and him in that room. So it was his word against mine. So if you got something on your mind, let's, get it off. But I'm going to tell you now, my guys are going to get paid, and you ain't never going to fucking treat me like a victim because you'll be the victim. And you could take that in a million ways. Victim, in my mind, meant you're not going to bully me. You're not going to talk disrespectful to me. You're just not going to do it. You're going to do that with these other guys here. You're not going to do it with me. So, but that was always the case with me. I would let things build up a little bit, and then boom, the explosion. Yeah, James, are you out in Cali? Oh wow, I'm just reading this now, James. Craig, I have suffered with mental illness. Okay, I'm reading this, buddy. Craig, I have suffered with mental illness and being treated for it, and I have a plan. I'm moving forward with it. All right, my brother. If James, if you're still here, and I hope you are, let me just say this to you. I have been technically diagnosed with bi- bipolar. There's all sorts of spectrums of it. 1, 2, 3, 78, 59, whatever. PTSD, ADD. You think of the letters I've been given them. Um, as somebody here, we're just talking, man. I wish you nothing but the best. Whatever plan works for you, you do it. Um, Slow things down, I found really helps. Um, which I don't always do. Um, don't think too far ahead. Don't think about yesterday, because yesterday's gone. That was something that used to affect me too. I would always never, wouldn't forget anything, and I would think about something from 2 years ago, and it would come out. Forget yesterday. Yesterday's gone. Don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow's not here yet. So just keep within the moment. And to go further about tomorrow, and for most, or for a good amount of people, tomorrow never comes. Again, that's, yeah, it's a strong statement. It's a true statement, but it'll keep you in the moment. Be happy about what's going on now. You're here now. You're able to express this now. We're able to talk now. Not worry about 45 minutes from now. 'Cause we don't know 45 minutes from now what's going to go on, right? A meteor could fall out of the sky, or you could hit, you could become a multimillionaire in the next 45 minutes. And maybe that gives you happiness. I will tell you this about money for me. Money didn't make me happy. I made money. I had legitimate businesses that did well. Money wasn't it for me. I was, there was always an emptiness. Just was. I enjoyed making people laugh. That gave me some joy. I cling to my family. I love my family. I love to be around my friends. When I say around my friends, I'm not a guy that hangs out anymore or anything like that. But people, I value their opinion and their loyalty. That goes a long way. Keep your circle small. You know, you know. I'm sure you know this, boy. I don't know. I'm just, if there's anything ever, um, if there's anything ever, anybody in my chat, they'll be more than happy to tell you, if I have any words for wisdom for you, or if you have a specific question, you know, I'll help you. If you want to ask me about medications, anything. I'm telling you, yesterday you missed the show. They used to joke around, call me the pharmacist. They call me the pharmacist because I studied, because my wife started saying to me years and years ago that the medicines they would give me would eventually destroy my kidneys, my liver, my brain, and whatnot. So I immersed myself in reading something. Uh, yeah, I immersed myself in that, and I started to learn about every medication, what it does, and it wasn't just for mental illness. I spoke yesterday. I have a daughter with, autistic and some other things, so I needed to know about that medication from when she was young. So it just kind of blended. So I learned a lot about. This doesn't make me a pharmacist. It just knows that, it just says that I knew what I was going to put in my body and wasn't, because when I didn't pay attention and I just took whatever they gave me to take, I had some. It was worse than the highs and lows of the manic. You have, manic depressive, and I never knew. I said this yesterday. When you're feeling great and high, I never knew that could be that's manic as well. You're not supposed to feel so euphoric and great and like you're invincible. Not invincible, but you know what I mean. We're not supposed to have those roller coasters. But there's anything about medications and so, um, when it doesn't take. Okay, I just saw this. That's great, James. You got it, brother. James, I think I saw something where you how many years without a drink? I think I saw something like that. James, I went 7 months without a drink. Ooh, Roy, baby, what's happening? Yeah. Francis, how are you, dear? I'm sorry, I can't freaking get over to the chat because of this cell phone, so it's a pain in the ass, man. And I want to be able to answer anybody's question if they have one. Roy, baby, what's up? James, let me tell you, I don't want to reiterate yesterday at really because but I just want to say this. Every, it's, again, we talked about it yesterday. When you're diagnosed with, I don't, border personality disorder, or now they're saying, um, and I don't need to hear this from doctors I read, um, could trigger, you're in that bipolar spectrum. If you get to a certain if you show certain behaviors, now they term border personality disorder. So basically, you get so angry over something and consequences, you're not thinking of them. Well, you know, whatever. I'm not here to debate that. What I'm here to say is this: there are medications I'm telling you right now that are designed to make you a zombie, okay, and will do more damage to you than possibly what you're going through. And I don't know what it is exactly. I'm speaking on myself. So all I can say is, as a friend, as we have a show right now on, and we're speaking about this again, educate yourself to the best of your ability about whatever somebody is asking you to ingest in your body multiple times a day, whatever that is. And if you don't like what you read about that medication and the long term effects, short term effects, or whatever it's going to do, because they all have effects, every one of them, I would not feel forced to take them just because somebody else is telling you to take them. And believe me, I've told them, you take it. Why don't you take it? They used to get, look, I'm going to say, let's go further. They used to give me something for sleeping. And it was during the 9/11 day. Um, they used to give me something called, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Ambien. The That's a generic, the real name is Olpedium, but I think the generic, people know it as Ambien. That's a Okay, Davey, I got you, brother. Okay. So Ambien is a sleeping medication. It helps you sleep. So my brain would never shut off, you know. So I couldn't sleep. So anyway, besides Ambien, there's something called trazodone. Okay. Ambien did not work for me. Okay. They gave me something called trazodone. Did not educate myself on. I wasn't in the education process yet. Start taking this trazodone, 300 milligrams. Okay. Well, I wind up getting there's about 3 days of trazodone in me. Taking it, let's say, half hour before you're ready to go to sleep. I got some of the worst. Guys could believe this or not. I'm saying it. Please believe it. I got some of the worst, something I've never experienced in my life ever. Night tremors. So these things were so vivid and horrific that um, I'd be woke up out of my sleep as a grown ass man in my 40s, mid 40s, due to this trazodone that didn't work for me. So everybody's body chemistry is different. So what works for one might not work for the other. But one of the side effects, as I would learn later on, the trazodone, it's given to people with Parkinson's disease, it's given to people with HIV, and it's given to people with that basically had lobotomies, pieces of their brains to remove. And then they started in the 70s experimenting with people to help them sleep, but it really was a serious, serious medication not meant to help you go to sleep. And one of the side effects is night tremors, um, and a lot more. Well, let me tell you something. I won't even get into some of the stuff that still is here that my wife witnessed, like some of my children witnessed, on that medication. So there was things that I would take that I trusted that they would give me, and they were horrific, horrifying. Um, and that's why I just say do your homework. And if you're not comfortable, I'll never forget one doctor saying to me, and I was with him for 13 years, and he was cool with me. I mean, honestly, quite honestly, when I felt like I was his doctor. You're gonna laugh. I would go see him, and all he wanted to know was stories about wise guy shit. That's the truth, Timmy. If you listen to you, I'll laugh your ass off. He's a Bronx guy. Uh, he's a great guy. I love him. And he'd ask me if I get him tickets, whatever, pop, pop, pop. Because you know the stories. Long story short, he gave me medications, and I was not researching at that point. And he says to me, "I'm going to put you on this new medication." He says, "If you start to develop a red ring, if you see a red ring around your mouth, rush yourself to the hospital." It's exactly how he says it. I said, "To what?" He said, "Yeah, if you see a red ring, rush yourself to the hospital." I said, "Why?" He says, "It's not good, and that means something real bad is going to happen because 1% of people that take this die from it." I said to him, "First of all, doc," and he took it like a joke. He was laughing. I said, "My fucking luck, I'm going to be that 1%. Why would you give this? Why would you even entertain? You know me. I'm glad you told me. I ain't going to take that. Are you kidding me? 1%? I don't care. 1% could be a big number when we're talking about population. And guess what? I wasn't going to roll the dice. But in this case, he told me. So I say this. How many other things are out there that nobody's telling you? That's why you got to do your own homework. That's what I'm saying. Just do your own homework and know what you're taking. Timmy boy, you still out there? You're out. Yeah, just I think you got to do your homework when it comes to this shit. You have to, and you should know what you're putting in your body. Just like uh, you know, remember years ago, I have a glass of orange juice and eggs. Now we can't eat eggs. You can't drink orange juice. No, that's no good no more. You can't have a glass of milk no more. Remember, milk made your bones strong, made you bigger. Now we can't do that. That's no good. So educate yourself on anything you're going to ingest and put in your body. It shouldn't be a job. I was a job, and quite honestly, at first, my wife did it all for me. She did it all for me. And she would say to me, she said, "Give me all your medicines." And I'd line them up across the fucking table. She would do all the research on it and say, "Nope, nope, you're not taking this yet." And she'd say, "Why?" This within 2 years, your kidney, and all of them. I mean, did you ever hear? I'm going to make a little joke out of this. You ever hear some of these commercials? Listen to these commercials, and I don't even I can't think of a name offhand, but try this Provactor or whatever the fuck, anything, and then you wait to the end. If if you discover you're suffering from dry mouth, rectal bleeding, inverted nipples, frothing at the mouth, choking, vomiting, rapid heartbeats, feel like you're going to die, um, call your physician immediately. Great. Why would I ever take that with all those warnings? Now, some will say, "Yeah, but that don't happen to everybody." Hey, you don't know my life. I guarantee you, me, yeah, I ain't taking it. And I wouldn't recommend anybody else that just heard these commercials that just said, if you if you feel like you're gonna get a stroke and die, don't take this. Get yourself to a hospital full physician. Why would you take this? You know, I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. All right, guys, I went too far. I hope you guys, you know, enjoyed today. I'm sorry we went back. I hope James, everything works out, James, and for everybody here. Um, we'll move on to other things. I apologize if this wasn't what we wanted to hear, but we kind of just let the conversation go wherever it goes. So we touched on just being vigilant. And we went back into well, we went a little further with medications today. And just look, you don't need to hear from me about reading on what anybody prescribes to you, and it doesn't have to be for any. It could be for a flu. It could be for anything. Just try to understand what you're taking. Look, as they're finding out, too many Motrin or Tylenol tears your stomach apart. I'm not talking about taking two Tylenol. Talking about taking six Tylenols a day. After a while, too much of anything, right? It can't be good. Whatever. Put it this way, you guys are never going to hear about that. I got a big job with a pharmaceutical company. I can assure you, they don't like me. But it is what it is. I do think there's things out there that do help. And James, there are things out there. If you're still listening, and you probably know this already. And if you ever want to email me, call me, feel free, brother. Hop on. You guys have a good weekend. We got some stuff we put up on Patreon. I got a video coming out. Guys, check out the trailer I put up on video Patreon. It goes with that post. I'm not going to do that video here on YouTube for a lot of reasons. That being said, you guys have a good weekend. We kept to it was important today. We kept to our word and did our show. Okay. Good night. Talk to you later. Have a good weekend.